Hey everybody, happy Friday. Hope everyone's had a good week. And as I jump around my base, accidentally activating my elytra. So today, I'm actually wanting to redo my entryway a little bit. I want to change that door to something more unique in the center of the wall. So I'm going to be revamping that, and I want to make it a redstone door. And it's going to be a 4-block, like a 2x2. And I would like to have each segment being pulled away in sequence. So this is kind of my initial thought process on that. I started with a pressure plate activation. Wanted to have the signal coming through here, and I did discover that in so doing, the door would be like in place, and then stepping on the switch, or excuse me, inverse that. The door would be retracted, and then stepping on the pressure plate would activate it, which is the opposite of what I wanted to do. So I did put the redstone signal inversion there, as you can see with the redstone torch, and that got it to where the door was in place until you stepped on the switch. So that's a good thing. Now I did want to add in the redstone repeaters on a delayed tick, because that's how you get the door to open or close in a specific sequence. So you have to do that prior to each piston, so that they all like alternate. So that's a pretty cool thing that I discovered, and hopefully if y'all are wanting to do something on a delay like that, kind of like a sequence type of redstone activation, that's all you'll need to do it, and I hope that tip is helpful for some of you. Again, that can make a redstone build slightly more intensive, but I really do recommend doing it that way, because it's really cool, for one, and it's actually not that difficult, not that challenging. So I initially tried it on a single redstone, or the single delay from the repeater, and I ended up actually bumping it up to the second setting of delay. So hitting the well, I guess if you're playing on a mouse, it'd be right click on the repeater twice instead of just the one time. There we go. So now it's pulling each of the blocks away and putting them back in a slower sequence, which I like. That's more of what I'm going for here. So yeah. All right, so gonna try to cover up most of this redstone in the process. Now, I did discover in so doing that the pressure plate would only then activate the system from one side. So I decided to replace that with a lever instead, because I don't want to be locked out of access to my door from one side. Now, I'm sure there's a fix to it. I just didn't want to spend the time working on that. So I figured a lever is much easier. It's much simpler. It eliminates a complex setup of redstone that I wanted to try to avoid. So that's just what I went with. I decided to put a lever in and make it just an easy, like, turn on, turn off kind of thing. So, and I'm satisfied with that now. So if you all are satisfied with my content, if y'all are satisfied with what you're watching, I would greatly appreciate any support by way of subscribers on YouTube. In fact, if you feel compelled to follow me on YouTube, you'll not only get access to these videos that you see on TikTok, but you'll also be able to view all of my shorts that I post on YouTube that I don't post on TikTok. And once my YouTube subscriber count gets up to 100, I will be live streaming my first ever attempt at Minecraft Hardcore Survival. So I'm excited for that. I hope you are too. So if that's something you want to partake in, if that's something you want to witness, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and then, yeah, we'll go from there. But yeah, this redstone build actually wasn't nearly as intensive or complex as I expected it to be. I started the process, and it took me a little bit of playing around, but I started the process and was very surprised with how quickly it came together. So, if y'all are interested in redstone and haven't like wet your feet with it yet, honestly, learn what the individual things do, like the repeater, the redstone torches, and make sure you understand the signal inverting setup. So if you need to do that, you can. I myself still don't really understand the redstone comparator, but get your hands dirty, get in there, just play around with it. It's a really fun time, and there we go, in full operational glory. Anyway, it's a really fun time. I encourage you to get in, get your hands dirty, just play with it. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. That's all for today's video. We will see you guys on Monday, and have a fantastic weekend.